Assalamualaikum, dear student. Today we will start about water and electrolytes. Lean body weight percent contains around the 71 to 72% of water of their body mass. So, as the body weight of the person is increased, then the water content will be going to decrease. What happens in the best person, the fat portion is more as compared to other. So the water content is less in the fatty person. There is 75% of water in newly born baby. Then women have less content of water due to the presence of a large amount of fat. Intracellular water content is around 70%, which being around 25 to 30 liters of the body. Then extracellular content of water is around 30%, which make 13 to 60%, 13 to 16 liters of water. Then interstitial fluid contains 3 by 4 portion of the extracellular water. Blood plasma contains 3 to 3.5 liters. Then our lymphatic system contains 1.5 liter of water. Then transcellular water is around 1.5 liter in cerebrospinal fluid, tracheobronchial tree, ocular fluid, excretory system of a kidney. There is a steady state between the water content in different compartments. For example, intracellular and extracellular water, intracellular and interstitial water, and extracellular water. Urinary excretion, we daily excrete around 1 liter to 1200 ml per day water through urination. Kidney must excrete 400 to 600 ml of water to maintain its normal function. If the water content decreases from 600 ml, then the toxic compound will accumulate in the body. Maximum concentration of urine has a specific gravity of around 1.040. It happens during dehydration. Pulmonary loss on average 400 ml per day. Increase in fever due to hyperventilation. In fever, there is more breakage of protein and there is a hyperventilation mechanism. Each degree rise in temperature will lose more water, around 100 to 150 ml more as compared to other. Fecal secretion contain around 50 to 200 ml per day. Water is removed from skin, around 400 ml per day is removed from the body. Through sweating, around 11 to 14 liter per day water is removed during severe sweating in a high temperature. How body water content is regulated? It is regulated by three mechanisms. One is thirst, second is the antidiuretic hormone, and third is the angiotensin 2. Thirst also increases the hypertonicity of the muscle, and antidiuretic hormone increase the water reabsorption from the kidney. Angiotensin increase the blood pressure and tonicity of the muscle, which activate the thirst center in the brain. Thirst center located in the hypothalamus produce desire to drink water more, stimulated by hypertonicity of plasma through osmoreceptor. And these osmoreceptors get activated in the dehydration form when the salt concentration become more and more. Through stress, saphenous pulmonary vein and left atrium activated by decrease in plasma volume and hypovolemia. What is hypovolemia? Decrease in the plasma volume is known as hypovolemia. This will happen due to severe dehydration. During severe dehydration, pulmonary vein and left atrium receptor get stretched. Hypovolemia, what is hypovolemia? Decrease in the plasma volume. Then what happens? Our body will produce more antidiuretic hormone, which cause the retention of water from kidney, and it will decrease the glomerular filtration rate. GFR filtration rate will decrease with the water retention, more water retention by ADH. Increase angiotensin to level stimulate the thirst center and also increase the blood pressure. Excess of water, if we have more plasma volume or have a high water content, then what happens? There is a decreased level of angiotensin 2 and a decreased level of antidiuretic hormone and decreased level of aldosterone. So our muscle tone will decrease. तो वाटर डिप्राइवेशन क्या होता है कि वाटर का लेवल कम हो जाना, डिक्रीज इन द वाटर लेवल which result in decrease in plasma volume, which is known as hypovolemia. And it will cause the increase in sodium and chloride concentration and which will cause hypertonicity, hyperactivity of the muscle. Increased antidiuretic hormone will increase the blood urea and other nitrogenous products. Why? Because if there is more and more water is retained, it will also retain the toxic material. What happened in hypovolemia? Water shift from the interstitial fluid to the hypertonic plasma, then hypertonic interstitial fluid will produce. If the water goes from the interstitial fluid to the plasma and to the extracellular fluid, what happens? The hypertonic interstitial fluid will produce. Then what happens? The intracellular water comes out and goes into the interstitial fluid to maintain the balance, and hypertonicity of intracellular fluid is removed. During this condition, when the water moves from the cell to interstitial fluid to blood, what happens? Severe dehydration will occur. If you pull the muscles, it will not go down. This is the symptoms of severe dehydration. Dryness of the mouth, tongue, and general weakness. Oligouria, specific gravity of urine is around 1040. What happens if there is less water is removed through urination? The urine gets concentrated, so its specific gravity is increased from 1.01 to 1.04. If there is no water intake, what happens? Potassium break away from the cellular protein. Direct potassium enter into the extracellular fluid. Fixation of potassium from increase from the blood. Sodium moves into the cell to replace potassium. It will cause the cellular ionic function depressed. Cellular ionic function depressed when there is decrease of calcium, potassium in the cell. Dry tongue, collapse, circulation, and renal failure. 20% water loss result in death. Water intoxication, excess water. If you take more and more glucose mission by intravenous injection, it will increase the water intoxication. Water level is also increased if we take antidiuretic hormone through injection, or it is hyperly secreted by the cells. So in diabetes insipidus, we regularly intake ADH hormone to decrease the water level. What are electrolyte substances that dissociate water into cation and anion? It is known as electrolyte. The substances When it is placed in the water, it is changed into cation and anion. This is known as electrolyte. They facilitate the conductance of electrical current through water, readily dissolve but do not dissociate into ions, non-electrolyte. Those salts which do not dissociate, it is known as non-electrolytes. Salt of alkali metals dissociate completely. Salt in a solution exists in dissociated form like sodium chloride, potassium sulfate, sodium lactate. They are found in the dissociated form. So they are known as electrolytes. Electrolyte concentration of anion and cations in plasma and intracellular fluid are equal. They must be equal to maintain the body function. Chief cations of plasma is sodium, mean extracellular cation is sodium, and chief anion is chloride and bicarbonate ion. So there is a ionic gap between sodium and chloride bicarbonate, and it is always constant, around 12. Okay. Intracellular chief cation are potassium and magnesium, and anion are phosphate and protein. You can see the difference between the anion and cation in plasma, and it is always in equal amount. Total cation 155 milliequivalent per liter in blood, and total anion 155 milliequivalent per liter of blood. If you see the sodium chloride and bicarbonate ion, and there is difference of around 10 to 12 milliequivalent per liter. This is known as anionic gap. Then intracellular electrolyte is around 200 milliequivalent cation and 200 milliequivalent of anion. Sodium high level is found in the extracellular tissues, and lower level is found in the intracellular fluid. What is the normal range in blood? It is around 135 to 145 millimole per liter, which is very heavy amount. What is the function of this heavy amount of sodium? It maintains the osmotic pressure of our blood. It maintains the plasma volume of blood. Low plasma concentration of sodium will decrease the sodium, and it will cause the hypovolemia. It will decrease the blood pressure. So, sodium deficiency, circulatory system collapse, and renal failure. Chloride change is a secondary to the change in sodium. Effect on HCl production is gastric juice. It will affect the gastric juice production if the level of sodium is decreased, then the gastric juice production is slowed down. Then the sodium helps in the reabsorption of glucose from the intestine. You know about the sodium glucose water which absorbs the glucose. Help in the reabsorption of glucose, phosphate, lactate from the kidney. What happens in kidney? It helps in the reabsorption of glucose, phosphate, lactate, and other molecules from the kidney. The regulation of pH by reabsorption of proton. Sodium moves out from the kidney and proton in. So it will help to regulate the pH. In cardiac muscle, sodium calcium exchange pump will help to maintain the cardiac tone. Regulation of nerve excitability. Depolarization phase in action potential in muscle and neuron is due to the sodium. If we have nephrotic syndrome like glomerular or nephritis, what happens then? Renal tubules absorb all the filtered sodium, hypernatremia. Kidney will reabsorb all the sodium, which will result in the high level of sodium in the blood. Hypernatremia, what happens in hypernatremia? The level of sodium get increase. Excess corticosteroid heart disease patients may it will increase. So it is increased when there is more tension in the kidney, when there is the excess amount of corticosteroid hormones, then there is a heart problem. Renal failure will also increase the sodium level in the blood, raise venous blood pressure, peripheral edema, cellular symptoms like hyperosmolality. Potassium, it is also very useful cation. Recommended daily intake is around 1.5 to 4.5 gram per day. Intracellular zinc cation, most of them in the muscle cells. Normal range in blood is around 3.6 to 5 millimole per liter. And intracellular it is present in very huge mode. What is the function of potassium? Essential for normal heart functioning, diastolic pressure maintained by the potassium, normal functioning of skeletal muscle fibers, potassium level fall in the insulin institution, potassium neuron and muscle activity maintained by the potassium, compete with the proton for sodium in the kidney. Sodium potassium ATP forms over in the presence of potassium. Hyperkalemia, what happens when the level of potassium is increased? Loss of potassium from within the cell to the extracellular. So I have told you there is a very high amount of potassium inside the cell, and if the cell gets damaged due to the cross-infected muscles, hematomes, intravascular hemolysis, then that potassium come out of the cell and will increase the level of potassium in blood. Renal failure also decrease the secretion and increase the level of potassium in the blood. Chronic dehydration and shock. Chronic dehydration will also increase the potassium. Acidosis increases the potassium. Addison disease increases the potassium. Fever increases the potassium level in the blood, because in fever protein get break and potassium will leak out. Hypokalemia, when there is excess water loss through kidney diuresis. What is hypokalemia? When the level of potassium get decreased. Excess renal loss, metabolic alkalosis, post-operatively loss from gastrointestinal tract. So there is the addition of low level of potassium in blood. Insulin secretion decrease if there is low level of potassium. So we have diabetic. If we have a diabetic patient, we have to give potassium along with the insulin. Pathological lesion seen on the heart less than 1.5 millimole is fatal and it causes death. If it is decreased from 4.5 to 1.5 or 1, it will be fatal and can cause death. Magnesium, 25 gram of magnesium is needed daily, half in organic matter of the bones, half in tissues and body fluids. What is the normal level in blood? 0.8 to 1.2 millimole per liter in plasma. Present in complex of salt in bones and teeth, cofactor of many enzymes. Hypermagnesia, magnesium, 8 millimole per liter produce process of voluntary muscle and anesthesia. So it can cause muscle relaxation and static feeling if the level of magnesium is increased. In chronic renal failure, it is increased drastically. Chloride closely connected with sodium metabolism, regulate water balance, osmotic pressure, and acid phase balance. Hypovolemic or water shock, if stage 1, 7.5, 750 ml of water is going to decrease. Compensated by constriction of vascular bed. This is the condition of first stage, hypovolemia, when the water level is decreased from 750 ml in the plasma. Blood pressure is maintained, normal respiratory rate, failure of the skin, slight anxiety in the dehydration condition. Stage 2, when the water level is decreased from 1.5 liter. Cardiac output cannot be maintained by the arterial constriction. Tachycardia means the heartbeat is going to increase over 100. Then increase respiratory rate, blood pressure maintain, increase the systolic pressure, narrow pulse pressure, sweating from the sympathetic stimulation, mild, anxious, and restless. Then similarly, stage 3 and stage 4. In stage 4, the water decrease is more than 2 liters in the plasma. Plasma water level decrease more than 2 liters. So it will make 40% of plasma. Extreme tachycardia, extreme heartbeat, it is increased from the 100, 120. Pronounced tachypnea, high respiratory rate, significant decrease in systolic blood pressure of 70 mm of Hg, decreased level of consciousness, VOC, skin is slightly cool and extremely pale. Then what have happened in the pH balance by these ions or electrolytes? What happened in the respiratory acidosis? Respiratory acidosis, the respiratory center get depressed and the rate of respiration is reduced. When the rate of respiration is reduced, carbon dioxide level get increased. When the carbon dioxide level get increased, it will produce carbonic acid. So carbonic acid level get increased. Then our kidney retain more bicarbonate ions to decrease the level of high level of carbonic acid. It should be 20:1 ratio to maintain the pH level of 7.4. So log of 2 is equal to 1.3. So our body pH should be 7.4 to maintain the normal level of pH. Then what happened in the respiratory alkalosis? Our respiratory center is highly active and more carbon dioxide rose, and there is decreased level of carbon dioxide and there is decreased level of carbonic acid. And if the level of carbonic acid is decreased, the pH is going to increase from 7.45. Here pH is decreased to 7.1 and here it is increased into 7.7. So what happened? Our kidneys retain, remove more and more bicarbonate ions to maintain the pH. When there is more decrease in the bicarbonate level, then the ratio of 20:1 is maintained, which is make the pH into 7.1. Then what happened in the metabolic acidosis? In metabolic acidosis, more bicarbonate ions get lost by the kidney. If the problem is metabolic, then the repairing mechanism is the respiratory. Then the respiratory rate become very high. Respiratory rate becomes very high. What happens? The level of carbonic acid decrease, and it will maintain the 20:1 ratio, and which make the pH around 7.4. What happened in the metabolic alkalosis? There is more level of bicarbonate ions. There is more tension of bicarbonate ions in the kidney. So what happened here? The compensation is performed by our lungs. What happened in lungs? There is increase in bicarbonate ion. So we have to increase the acid. Our respiratory center gone, function is decreased. When the respiratory center function is decreased, respiration rate is decreased, the level of carbon dioxide is increased, and it will increase the carbonic acid level, and then the normal 20:1 ratio is maintained, and there is, here you can see, if the ratio is disturbed, the pH is also disturbed. So these are the condition and compensation method in the metabolic acidosis and respiratory acidosis and other. What happened in diabetes in people with diabetes, elevated blood sugar level cause sugar to split into the urine and water then follows, which can cause significant dehydration. For this reason, frequent urination and excessive thirst are amongst the symptoms of diabetes. What happened in diabetes? There is more level of sugar in urine. To dilute that sugar and to remove that sugar, we need more and more water. And there is a lot of urination which cause dehydration. Regulation: the kidney have ability to monitor the amount of body fluid, the concentration of electrolyte like sodium, potassium, and acid-base balance of the body. Diffusion movement through the membrane, it will happen through diffusion and through pumps and channels. Smaller size molecule rapid move with the transport. Like chloride channel is chloride molecule is the smallest, then potassium, then sodium. So chloride is smallest, then we have more size of potassium, and there is a big size of sodium. So chloride ions move faster, potassium less faster, and sodium more less faster because the size of these molecules. What happened in the cystic fibrosis? There is a dysfunctioning of a chloride channel. What happened in the dysfunctioning of chloride channel? There is a mutation in the cystic fibrosis transmembrane conductance regulatory protein, which change the amino acid and will hinder the transport of chloride ion. So cystic fibrosis occur in the lungs and other parts of the body, and it will cause many infections. What is the anionic gap? We have already studied the gap between K times sodium and A9 bicarbonate and chloride, and it is always equal to 12 milliequivalent. Used to determine the cause of metabolic acidosis, increase in lactic acidosis, diabetic ketoacidosis due to methanol, ethylene glycol intoxication. Normal in metabolic acidosis due to loss of bicarbonate, chloride retention, diarrhea, carbonic anhydrase. That's all. अब आपके maximum question आने चाहिए.